What if the biggest prison you live in isn't outside, but inside you? What if the constant anxiety, the feeling of being stuck, or the inability to truly connect isn't a flaw, but a hidden defense mechanism you unknowingly built? Today, we unearthing a radical truth from 1933 that explains why you might be living behind an invisible wall. Wilhelm Reich called it character armor. Reich bravely explored this secret design of the human mind, showing us that human history isn't just about grand wars and political shifts, but also about the subtle ways we've been held back and the masks we put on to get by. This armor isn't just a metaphor, it's a physical and psychological shield built by societal rules and pressures, keeping us from our true selves. What happens when this way of protecting ourselves becomes our very identity? And, most importantly, how can you begin to spot and dismantle this unspoken dictatorship that works inside you, shaping your thoughts, your feelings, and even your body? Stay with us to uncover the hidden forces that shape our lives, and how we can begin to break free. Before character analysis, psychology often focused on outward problems, phobias, anxieties, compulsions. If someone had a fear, doctors would try to treat that specific fear. But Reich saw something deeper. He noticed that behind these symptoms, people had built a strong, inner armor to shield themselves from pain and societal expectations. This armor wasn't just in their minds. It showed up in their bodazine stiff postures, chronic muscle tension, and restricted breathing. Imagine a soldier in a fight. He wears armor to stay safe. But what if he never takes it off? Even when there's no danger, it would become a part of him, making it hard to move freely, to feel things, or to connect with others. Reich believed that modern society, with its rules and repressions, makes us put on a similar kind of character armor. This isn't just a few habits, it's a protective structure that becomes a core part of who we are. Our character, shaping how we deal with the entire world. The most difficult part is, we often don't even know we're wearing it. It simply feels like our normal way of being. Think about that persistent neck pain, or the way you clench your jaw when stressed. These could be the physical clues. Comment armor below if that thought made you check your posture. For Reich, this character armor served a clear purpose: to hold back feelings and urges that society deemed unacceptable, especially sexual and aggressive ones. From childhood, we are taught to control our true selves to fit into certain boxes. Over time, this constant self-suppression becomes a solid part of our character. In an unspoken dictatorship, where acting a certain way helps you get by and be accepted, this armor becomes like a special pass. It lets us function in a system that often doesn't like our natural, free way of being. Think of the average person Reich often talked about. Someone who, because they're afraid of freedom and responsibility, goes along with authority, holds themselves back, and expects others to do the same. However, this conformity comes at a terrible price. That price is anxiety, a feeling of being unwell, and an inability to feel things fully, to love freely, or to live genuinely. The armor, which was supposed to protect us, ends up trapping us. It obstructs the flow of our natural life. Reich would later call orgone and makes us more susceptible to control. When this armoring becomes a mass phenomenon, it forms the basis for what Reich called the emotional plague. This isn't a biological illness, but a widespread societal sickness born from generations of repressed life energy. It's the unreasonableness, the cruelty, and the destructive behavior that erupts when entire populations are armored. When people cannot deal with their own hidden feelings, they project them outward. They attack freedom, natural behavior, and life itself. We can see symptoms of this in the rigid thinking of online hate mobs or in the destructive anger of polarized political groups. A single person's armor, when multiplied by millions, becomes a destructive social force. To better understand these patterns, Reich even identified different character types like the oral, anal, philic narcissistic, and masochistic characters. He didn't see these as fixed labels, but as descriptions of how our natural energy could be blocked and distorted by our armor, leading to typical patterns of behavior. If armor is the prison, then Reichian therapy, also called vegetotherapy, was the proposed key to breaking free. Reich believed that to get rid of character armor, you had to work not just with the mind, but with the body as well. He created methods to help release the chronic muscle tension that traps our energy, allowing buried emotions to surface and be resolved. This wasn't a cure in the typical sense. Instead, it was a process of de-armoring, helping people reconnect with their natural selves. The aim was to restore the body's capacity for full, energetic release and feeling, what Reich called orgastic potency, representing not just sexuality, but the variability to experience life fully and without inhibition. Let's try a small, practical exercise. Try this with me. Right now, exhale, and keep exhaling until there is no air left. Push it all out. Feel that involuntary shake in your stomach. According to Reich's theories, that is your armor cracking. That is a flicker of freedom. Reich's ideas were, and still are, intensely controversial. His focus on the body and his fierce critique of a repressive society led to him being targeted and pushed aside. But for him, the truth was simple. You cannot have a free society if its people are trapped by their own inner armor. True liberation begins within. Character analysis is more than a book about psychology. It's a powerful statement about human freedom. His legacy calls us to an inner revolution, one that seeks emotional health, natural expression, and the ability to love and live fully. It's a revolution that understands true freedom is not just political, but biological and psychological. If you're ready to explore these truths, here's what you can do. Subscribe to Wilhelm Reich, The Silenced Truth, for more groundbreaking insights. Don't miss our next episode, where we explore the concept of the emotional plague. In today's digital world, like this video if it resonated with you and helped you see the world a little differently. Your support helps us reach more truth seekers. Share this video with anyone who needs to hear this message. Let's spread awareness and spark critical thinking. Leave a comment below. What personal armor have you recognized in yourself? We want to hear from you and build a community of conscious individuals.